But through a lens that is incredibly specific.
Yeah, very specific. We're not talking about general wellness here. We're looking at it through the framework of transactional analysis, or TA.
Exactly. And the sources we've been digging into, they come from a trained transactional analyst named Jaskaran. He treats meditation almost like a clinical procedure.
It's a blueprint. Our mission today is to unpack that blueprint. We're going to see how meditation, in this view, is designed to systematically manipulate our internal ego states, the parent, the adult, and the child.
And it all centers on this very particular use of a silent mantra. It's really about initiating a very defined psychological shift.
Right. It's less about just being present and more about, deliberately silencing parts of your mind to put one specific element in complete control.
Okay, so before we even get to what's happening inside the mind, I was just floored by how much the sources focus on the physical setup. The external world has to be perfect.
Oh, it's incredibly high maintenance. The environment is everything. The source actually describes the ideal atmosphere as a lullaby.
A lullaby, I love that. So what does that mean in practice?
It means strict requirements. We're talking nice incense, pleasant, soft music, and good ventilation is key. But also, and this is crucial, an air-conditioned room, a cool, regulated temperature.
And they're very clear. No sweating.
None. They even say the ideal time is right after a fresh bath, wearing loose clothes, and you should be on an empty stomach to get what they call the full bliss of the meditation.
It's total sensory management. And that extends to what you're sitting on, right?
Oh, absolutely. Forget about coarse yoga mats or, God forbid, a wooden plank. The material has to be soft, smooth, velvety. Cushiony is the word they use.
And you have to shut out the world completely. No TV, no radio.
Yeah, they say those things carry unwanted vibes that can interfere. It's all about creating this pristine, protected bubble.
So why? Why all this fuss about the external world if the goal is internal?
Well, it all connects back to the nervous system. The meditation they describe involves this very restful breathing process, and for your nervous system to truly let go of tension, it needs help.
It needs support.
Exactly. The source calls it a mind-calming, buttressing assistance. All these physical controls are just the scaffolding you need to build before you can do the real internal work.
Okay, so the scaffolding is up. We're in the cool, quiet, velvety bubble. Now we get to the core of it. What is happening to our internal structure, to our ego states, according to TA?
This is where it gets really fascinating. From a transactional analysis perspective, meditation is interpreted as the simultaneous quietening of the parent ego state plus the quietening of the adult ego state.
Whoa, so that's a deliberate shutdown of two of the three core parts of our personality.
A total shutdown.
And just to remind everyone, the parent ego state is that internalized voice of authority, all the rules and shoulds. The adult is our rational, data processing mind.
Precisely. You're silencing your inner critic and your inner accountant. The source is explicit that adult ego state activities, analyzing, calculating, judging, are literally controlled or stopped during this time.
So if the parent and the adult are offline, who's left running the show?
Only the child ego state. That's the whole point.
Okay, so what does the child do? What's the job it's given in this protected space? And this is where the mantra comes in, I assume.
It is. The child is given a very specific task. You repeat a chosen small mantra, but, and this is key, it's done only inside the mind.
Not spoken.
The mind chants, not the tongue. You're externally silent, but internally there's this repetition.
And TA sees this purely internal act as a pure child ego state activity. The adult isn't analyzing the meaning of the word. The child is just making a sound internally.
Exactly. And this is the real psychological insight from these sources. The sound of this internal mantra, which is chosen to be harmonious, is said to resound similar to the sound production of a young infant or a very young baby.
Really? Like a baby?
Yes. The comparison they make is profound. This silent internal chanting is comparable to the cry of a baby wanting to be nurtured for milk feeding before the mother.
That completely changes things. So it's not a tool for focus. It's a signal. The child is expressing a primal need for care, for safety.
That's the interpretation. The sound is complementary to the body's state of rest. It's not a command or an intellectual exercise. It's a vulnerable expression. And in this context, the child is in what the source calls a completely protected situation.
Protected from the parent's judgments, the adult's analysis, and the outside world.
Right. And in that protected state, the child is then entrusted with producing what the source calls peace energy, so to say.
Peace energy. And the language the body understands in this,
Yeah.
It's not words, words, is it?
No, the source says the language understood by the body during this taking care of event is quietude, just profound quietness. The entire body is responding to that silence and to this gentle, peaceful vibration coming from the nurtured child.
Okay, so what is the ultimate payoff here? We go through all this trouble, we create the perfect environment, we silence the parent and adult, we nurture the child. What's the end game? What are we fundamentally changing?
The end game is rewriting your own programming. The sources say that tuning the body to this harmless sound vibration from the child is to be viewed as fine-tuning the body script.
Fine-tuning the body script, that's huge. In TA, a life script is that unconscious life plan we form in childhood. And a hard life script is usually based on negative, limiting decisions. Things like, I'm not good enough, or I have to be perfect.
Exactly right. And this fine-tuning is done so that the body script will not be dictated by the possible hard life scripts that we are all, as the source says, unawareingly participants in.
So you're creating a space where the healthy, protected child can offer a different narrative, a different vibration, to override those old, damaging scripts.
You're using a state of deep safety to perform radical psychological self-care. It's designed to override a destiny you might have written for yourself a long, long time ago.
Wow. So to sum this all up, meditation from this very specific TA viewpoint is a clinical intervention. It's this deliberate act of silencing the critic and the planner to protect the child so that it can create a healing energy that literally rewrites our subconscious programming.
It's all about using an internal, silent lullaby to heal the deepest parts of ourselves. It turns a spiritual practice into a very defined therapeutic process.
This has been absolutely fascinating. Thank you for walking us through these sources and this really structured perspective.
My pleasure. And I'll leave you with a final thought to mull over. If that silent internal mantra is like an infant's cry for nurture, how much of our day-to-day talking, our arguments, our jokes, our anxieties is just a much noisier, more complicated version of that exact same child ego state crying out for a bit of care?
Something to definitely think about. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.